Hello everyone, I'm Rakhi Rupani, Communications Coordinator for BNI here in the UAE. And today the chapter whom I have on Spotlight is BNI Energizers. And today they're celebrating 7 years of being here with us. So let's keep chatting here with the leadership teams. We have the President, Suku, the Vice President, Amrit, and the Treasurer, Kahini. Hello, Team Energizers. How are you all doing today?
Excellent.
Great. How are you, Rocky?
Thank you so much.
Rocky.
Good. Hi, Kaini. Hi, Suku. And hi, Amrit. Welcome back on our channel today. Before we get started with the questions, firstly, I want to wish all of you a big, hearty congratulations on celebrating 7 years. Energizers. I can't believe it. 7 whole years. And I think Suku has been longer with BNI and everything else. I mean, why don't we get started with the introduction? So why don't you tell us about yourself, Suku, how long you've been with BNI, and a little bit about what business you represent as well.
Well, like you said, I've been in BNI for close to 8 years. To be precise, 7 years and 11 months. So yeah, soon to be finishing 8 years. I started off in BNI Desert Rainmakers, and then from there moved on to Energizers because the Desert Rainmakers, how would I say? Yeah, from there was a transition, got an opportunity to get into BNI Energizers, joined there as the core team member. We are part of the founding members. As for my business, I've been in freight forwarding, and I think this whole journey with BNI had me going through a lot of transitions in my business as well. I started with a company called CSS Homeward Bound. From there, transitioned into Call It Air and Sea. There was a company called WAG Shipping in between, then Kerry Logistics, and finally, I say BNI always puts that seed into you to become an entrepreneur. And then finally, I've started up something on my own called Move Express Shipping Services. As I said, we are into the freight forwarding and logistics business.
Excellent.
So that's more about me. I'll let the others tell us.
An amazing journey. I would say that it's an amazing journey. These so many years that you've been with BNI. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Amrit?
Well, my story is a little bit similar to Suku, and he had a little bit to do with it as well. Well, actually, I started off in Dubai as a sound engineer, and I've been in the business of audiovisual integration, more as an audio expert, involved in some very, very key installations in the city, wherever there's entertainment. Like, for example, we supplied the sound system for Dubai Opera, and a lot of other F&B outlets like Zuma, Koya, and all. So I joined BNI back in 2014 September. So this year, in 2 months, it's going to be 7 years for me. And quite literally, I joined on the day of the launch of the chapter. So, and quite similar to what Suku was saying, I joined BNI as an employee. I was working for a company called Lightbox, and we used to supply high-end audio equipment. And sometime last year, and a push from quite a few members, Suku included, got me to start my own business called Vibe Audio Tech, and we are in the line of audio visual integration. And quite simply, I became the client of my previous company. So yeah, it's a collaborative effort, and I thank BNI for actually shaping my being in terms of becoming an entrepreneur.
That's amazing, awesome journey for you as well, Amrit. I'm so proud of that. What about you, Kylie? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a photographer, and I've been doing photography for the last 6 years. I have very recently joined BNI, which is in November 2020. And it's about 8 months now in BNI. I'm grateful that I'm already a part of the leadership team in a chapter that is 7 years old. Of course, I get to learn a lot of new things every single day. These guys have transitioned through 7 years. I would say I'm already transitioning in the last 8 months.
That's amazing. You're the youngest member, so welcome on board to BNI. But let's just talking about the 7-year journey. I know, Suku, you've been there as a founding member, core group member, as well as you, Amrit. So tell us, Suku, how you guys plan to celebrate the journey, and how has a 7-year long journey been like from the very beginning till now?
As I told you, for me or a couple of us, who've been there initially right from the launch, for us, BNI Energizers is like our baby, For us, everything that happens and every growth in the chapter is sort of our own achievement. So for me, whenever I talk about BNI Energizers, I feel proud, and there's a lot of emotions that come out of it, because it's contributed a lot to me personally as a member, as an individual as well. There's a lot of friendships that you make, a lot of learnings that you go through with this thing, and being in business, or and the whole transitions that you've seen in the markets. I guess being part of this group has helped me as an individual. As for celebrations, I've been lucky enough to be president again during this term, where the chapter has actually got a lot of plans for celebrating the 7 years. I'm sure the whole of BNI will be, hearing about it, because we intend to make a big noise out of these things that's going to come up. Please stay and, keep your eyes and ears open for the announcements to come out.
It's amazing. And another question for you, Amrit. I know, like you rightly explained, and you've been a member for a long time. Tell us, what have your learnings been from the past, and how do you plan to take it forward?
Sorry. Yeah. Me as a member, I have, it took a while for me to get this. The major learning is consistency, right? What I figured over about, let's say, the first 6 months is that the simplest things that we were asked to do, which we right now call as the power of one, just do consistently. You do one referral per week, one one-to-one, one CEU, and one visitor per month. These are all simple things, but what I realized right in the beginning is something that is simple to do, it is simple not to do it also. So it is something that I initially had to start. It wasn't it was a little bit of a challenge, and then it was just a matter of consciously doing it every week, and after a period of time, it actually becomes a habit. So the key here is consistency, and over a period of time, it becomes a habit. It just becomes a way of life, and that is something that we are trying to push forward within the chapter as well.
That's amazing, Amrit. Suku, my next question is for you. I believe you said that you have been the president again in this term, second time around, and we have our new terms coming up very soon. And going forward into what do you feel, and what have you envisioned for the chapter going forward? Let's say the next 12 months. Where do you see it?
I think, when it comes to the next 12 months, we need to take into consideration the past, couple of terms as well. It hasn't been easy because of the current situation. Chapters have gone from, being in person to online, and adjusting to those aspects with all due respect. I give credits to all the previous LTs, because it wasn't an easy task. Taking it over last term, I personally, and our team members understood that. So what we have done is, or we could say, is that we've actually been able to bring that graph to, come to, from it going down, we've actually made it go flat. And with this term, we can see that the graph is actually going upward. Now, our vision is to actually keep the next 2 to 3 months, keep the hard work up and try to give a good platform to the next LT to take over. A suggestion to them is what just Amrit said. I probably take words from him. Just keep that consistency going. We've got a couple of experienced members in our chapter who came up with this idea of the whole, the power of one. I think that just simply says it, that, how the next team can take it further. Yeah, vision wise, I think it's going to be getting back BNI Energizers to those glory days. And another thing that I would also like to say is, even after my term, stepping down, I think all of us, we've got a lot of experienced members. We should all put in our efforts, even though we are take on that.
Awesome. That's amazing. Amrit, for you as a vice president and again, long-standing member of BNI, we've seen BNI in those glory days when we had those referral slips and all that going on to, and everything being online now, from BNI Connect to Business Builder. And now as a vice president for you, tell us or share with us any systems or tools that you use which currently make your work better.
Interesting that you mentioned about the slips. I remember joining the chapter when it was just being phased out, and even till today, if you look into our chapter back there is one pad of slips there, which a lot of people find, what is this thing? Well, so that actually brings me on to the major tool that I use that is useful is the BNI Connect app. That app itself, actually, when you explore it, there is so much you can do with it. Just one simple thing, what I used to have an issue with is actually getting my, the gains sheet across to people when I'm booking a one-to-one with them. With the BNI app, of course, earlier we could just send a PDF across and things like that. But then now it's just a matter of me going onto that person's profile and reading about them, and before even the one-to-one happens. That's just one thing that I can share. But then there are so many other things. I can reach out to a lot of people using the BNI Connect app, apart from logging in activities.
That's amazing. Before I go on to the next question for Suku and Amit, I know Kaini is a very recent addition to the BNI family, and you've only seen, I would say, the online experience, the online platform. Tell us, what do you enjoy the most in the chapter and in BNI overall?
Well, I had visited the BNI in person quite a few years ago. So I do have a feel of how BNI works in person. But yes, I joined when it was online already. In terms of my chapter, I think what I really like the most is the fact that the co-members, like Suku said, for them, Energizers is their baby. So when you actually go and have your one-to-ones with them, you can understand that they do really care about how the chapter is doing, irrespective of whether they're a member of LT or any other role they're playing in the chapter or not. And I think that kind of loyalty makes you want to do better, and also understand that BNI does give you a lot and you can benefit from it in a lot of ways. In terms of BNI overall, I think like Suku and Amrit both have been saying, the power of one that we're supposed to do. I think if you do it organically, not pressurizing, because, when I had my first mentoring session with Suku, president back then as well, he told me, don't rush. The one mistake that people do is, when they become new members and, they just want to get into green and, but don't rush, take your time and go about it the way it is meant to be. And I just actually did that. So I think that falling power of one in BNI is a very good tool, and it can actually help you a lot in life as well.
Amazing. That's a great way of putting it. And speaking about online, we've experienced the whole online journey. It's been more than a year. Tell us how you guys are doing it in terms of how you guys keeping the chapter engaged, yet driving the performance parameters. Suku, would you like to answer that for us?
I think, I would like to put that to Kahini because, with Kahini actually for us represents the newer members in our chapter. She's there on that role as a senior role, and also she represents the new members. And Kahini has been chosen because on the activities wise and getting people engaged and things like that, the new team has been very proactive. They've taken up a couple of initiatives. So I'll let Kahini talk about, how the social, uh, how the online platform and how engagement has been during these terms.
Awesome.
Thank
Kindly share with us the tips, please.
Sure. So we wanted to do a lot more socials or networking events because we felt that members were getting tired of Zoom, and because they do have a feel of in-person meetings, and I think they were kind of losing that bond or the interest, and we wanted to keep that. So we decided to do a lot more social events, networking events, and now we also have a competition in place for the members, to not only for them to be more engaged in BNI, but also for our chapter rating to go up. I think doing these small things have really helped our chapter in keeping everybody engaged online, as well as also benefit the chapter overall.
That's amazing, Kaini. Thank you so much for sharing your tips. And speaking of tips, any suggestions or any tips you would like to share, Suku and Amrit, being in BNI for long, experiencing both the in-person and online journey? Again, this is going to be going out to all our audience, which includes members, not just from within your chapter, but members from other cross chapters and also all over the country. So just let us know, share with us any tips or advice, what you all think that they'll be able to benefit from.
I'll let Amrit speak first.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. But it all comes down to the same thing I mentioned earlier, consistency. Now, how can we maintain consistency? As Kahini said, that we re-engaged a certain competition within the chapter. It was more about creating accountability groups within the chapter and creating a competition around it. It's very simply around power of one. So initially, it's about, okay, we create a competition and then people start engaging in the activities that they found not easy not to do, or having a challenge with. But then because of the accountability and support within each group, they're able to overcome those challenges. The other part of it is to make this competition long enough. Means it's not just for 1 month, it's month after month. So creating it long enough so that these activities become habits. Initially, it'll be a conscious effort. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. But after some time, it's something that you automatically do. So that is something that we felt would work in any chapter.
It's a great suggestion, Amrit. Thank you so much. What about you, Suku? Anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, to put on with that, I must really appreciate Amrit, his membership committee team, and also I think Naveen has contributed to this as well for the running that competition. It's really working wonders for us as chapter and for the members as such. Now, my tip to all the members in not Energizers alone, in all the chapters, is to take up leadership roles. We talk a lot about visibility by taking up leadership roles. For me, it's a different thing. It's mostly the relationship that you tend to build because you're working together as a team for 6 months. You interact with each other. So, it's a similar thing in any organization. You have a team that works together. They have, so much of interaction between each other, and they have a bonding and they get to understand each other better. And in that, you will eventually end up referring business as well. So you would win business, you will win friends, you will have, support systems that comes into place by these relationships, I would say. So yeah, as much as possible, try to get into those leadership team roles. And I mean, Amrit's got a smirk. He's like, yeah, he's trying to, get those people to come and try how easy
no,
or
no,
difficult it is?
no, I was smiling because of I relate to the what you said about the chapter ending up becoming a support system. I can totally relate to that because last 1 year, a lot of members know that they couldn't have pulled through, myself included, couldn't have pulled through if it wasn't for support from the chapter members. So
Oh yeah, for me personally, I've gone through those graphs, ups and downs. Amrit, we go back almost 20 plus years, Amrit and me. And for me as well, with a couple of members in our core team who, I can take the names as well. We've got Hemali, Edwin, Kapil, Khurram, Frank. These are the core members, and founding members. I wouldn't say core members. Amrit is again part of the core team as well. We've got a couple of other members when we started the chapter, but they have seen me go up, down, and really to the bottom, and then come back up. And they've held my hand during this whole journey. So for me, anytime and anybody I talk to, I openly say BNI works for me, and Energizers is my family.
An amazing way to put it, and thank you for that answer, Suku, especially given that we are going into a new leadership term very soon. So thank you for sharing that piece of advice for all our audience out here. Taking roles is important, and it does give you a lot of learning in return. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much, Energizers team. I wish you all the very best in your success and with all your future individuals taking forward.
Thank you so much,
Rocky.
Yes.